What's up, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Down Once More of 2025. I'm your host, Matt, and on this week's episode, I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of what I'm excited about that's coming to streaming and theaters in January of 2026. So you're getting an early preview so that you are locked and loaded when that clock strikes 12, new releases drop, you can jump right over to your favorite streaming service and find something new to watch. Before I do that, though, things have been a little bit hectic in my life. I've hinted at that kind of on here. So for over the past week or so for Christmas, kind of just stuck at home and chilled. What that did allow me to do, so it was nothing crazy, exciting, celebrate Christmas, just wife and I at home. It did allow me to get caught up on some of my backlog of things that I have been wanting to watch for a while, though. I did watch on Christmas. I felt like I had to do an honor and watch a cheesy Christmas movie. So wife and I did watch My Secret Santa, the Netflix original. Like I suspected, this was just not a good movie, guys. It was cheesy, corny, a typical like Hallmark style Christmas movie. So if that's what we want, heartwarming, it was great. I was just taken out of it so much because of the ridiculous suspension of disbelief from simple, hey, we're giving this person paychecks, this human, and we have their social security number. And they tried to explain away like, oh, we've got no time. We don't have time for a background check. But like literally when you set up for like bank payments, things like that, what are we doing? And the fake voice, like not even remotely old manish. So everyone just not seeing any of that was very concerning to me. But heartwarming, cheesy Christmas movie, if that's your thing, you would probably love My Secret Santa. My favorite thing that I watched was Task, the HBO series with Mark Ruffalo. Absolutely amazing. This is one I'd heard great things about, and I just kept being caught up with other things to watch or life going on that I hadn't checked it out yet. 7 episodes, all 7 are fantastic. I thought it was a limited series, a mini series at first. It looks like it's slated for a season 2, at least according to IMDb. I'm not sure when that'll be coming out, what kind of storyline if it'll switch over and do kind of like an anthology series and be following another task force. But we'll see. Fantastic performances across the board in it. Very intense. Highly recommend it. I watched AEW World's End, their final pay-per-view match of 2025. Good time. Always some great, entertaining wrestling matches with AEW that I'm a big fan of. I watched Nobody 2, the Bob Odenkirk action kind of thriller. Very different vibe from the first Nobody. This one leaned into the kind of ridiculous, over the top action. Is like, do we need to explain why things are happening? Not really. Here's just some badass action scenes. I enjoyed that. I watched the new Toxic Avenger remake with Peter Dinklage, Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, and it was camp cheese to the extreme, over the top, ridiculous. I thought it was going to be just ridiculous gore and stuff too from what I was seeing, but that was one of those things where they just hype up a few things to make it seem like, oh, it's so disgusting, people left the theater. No, they didn't. It was fine. There's some gross stuff, but it's campy, it's cheesy. It was a good time. It was fine, middle of the road. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on my Letterboxd. I watched Ballerina, the Ana de Armas starring action movie in the John Wick franchise. It was a great, like fantastic action scenes, a lot of fun. Ana de Armas is fantastic in the lead role. Yet Keanu popping up in it as John Wick. It kind of takes place, I believe John Wick 3 and 4, kind of alongside some of the events happening in 3, and then kind of in a little bit of the gap between 3 and 4. I really enjoyed it. I watched Sovereign with Nick Offerman, Jacob Tremblay, Dennis Quaid. This one kind of like inspired by a true story of sovereign citizens, people who identify as sovereign citizens. and they had a standoff with kind of some police, shot some officers, things like that. And just this was Nick Offerman in a completely different role that I'd seen him before, and he gives a fantastic dramatic performance of this, of someone that's just leaned into the system is out to get you and leaning into your rights. It was very like tense and edge of this seat, and just seeing all of this, just and knowing it's inspired by a true story too. Just some fantastic performances in that. I believe it is streaming on Hulu currently. I had gotten it on Vudu, so I was working through my Vudu backlog and watching that, or Fandango at home now. Apologies. Wife and I binge watched The Girlfriend miniseries on Amazon Prime. This is based on the novel. She had listened to the audiobook. I saw the preview. I'm like, this looks like an interesting kind of thriller. I really enjoyed it. Robin Wright, Olivia Cooke give great performances, and a lot of the episodes are directed by Robin Wright as well. And the one thing that's interesting, it'll jump from the different perspectives of Robin Wright plays this boy's mom, and Olivia Cooke plays his girlfriend. So it'll jump back and forward between their perspectives, and you'll get to see how things took place from their point of view. And so you'll see that they're unreliable narrators. And so it kind of has you questioning who's in the right, who's telling the truth here. I really enjoyed that. It may not be for everyone, but I thought it was a great little 8-episode mini-series. Really enjoyed it, and I'd recommend it. I watched The Invitation. This is an older kind of lower budget thriller, but I really enjoyed it. I don't want to give too much away because it'll spoil it, but some fantastic performances in it, some people you'll recognize in it if you check it out. The Invitation, that was one I picked up on Fandango at home as well. I watched Locked. This was a newer kind of thriller from one of the producers of Saw that has Bill Skarsgård in a very like contained situation. It reminded me of like Buried with Robin Reynolds, where it's primarily Bill Skarsgård's character giving this performance. He basically he's down on his luck trying to scrounge up some money. So he tries to break into cars. He finds a very nice car, breaks into it, doors lock. He's trapped in there. Call comes through. Anthony Hopkins plays the owner of the car, who's basically tired of being pushed around. He's got cancer, doesn't have long to live. His car's been broken into multiple times. He wants to kind of take some power back, and has these kind of traps rigged, and almost like Saw style wants to play a game with him and make him suffer and punish. And there's some things going on at play that I don't want to give away. This was a pretty tense thriller. It went by quickly. I think it's only about an hour and a half, 40 minutes. But Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård both give fantastic performances in it, so I would recommend that as well. I also watched the classic 1992 Death Becomes Her movie. It is leaving Netflix soon. I don't know the official date it leaves. I think it's the 31st, so I think it's today. But this one, just peak 90s, like comedy, like little campy, little cheesy. Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep give some great performances in it. It was fun. And I've been wanting to watch it for a while because it was turned into a Broadway musical with Megan Hilty from Smash playing the lead role, Meryl Streep's character in it. And so I was really excited to check out and listen to the Broadway cast album but I want some context from the movie. So now I've done that. And that's kind of the main things that I watched over the break so far and really enjoyed, and if I think you should check them out as well. So a little bit longer of an opening act on this week's episode, but now let's get into what's coming new to streaming in January. We'll start out with Netflix, as always. Today, on the 31st, we'll wrap it up, is the finale of Stranger Things. I've talked about it on here. I'm behind on Stranger Things. I haven't watched since season 2, so I've seen very mixed reviews, especially over volume 2 of the season 5, the final season. So we'll see if they stick the landing with the finale. One thing that I'm excited for this month that does not have a date attached to it is Netflix's Take That documentary about the British boy band, the pop group where Robbie Williams first got his start. We've talked about Robbie Williams on the pod a lot because I'm a huge fan of Better Man, one of my favorite movies of 2025. And so they've done a Robbie Williams documentary on Netflix, and this is now following the group Take That and tells a little bit more of their story. So I'm excited to check that out. That does not have a date attached to it. They've just said it's coming sometime this month. And tomorrow, on January 1st, a few classic drops coming to Netflix that I wanted to highlight. The original Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2. The first one's great, classic, love it. District 9, a very good sci-fi action movie. Ford vs. Ferrari. Green Room, which is another kind of like tense psychological horror thriller, which I really enjoyed. Hellboy, Guillermo del Toro's classic movie. Just Go With It, if you want some Adam Sandler comedy out of it. Lone Survivor, if you need to get some military blood pumping, going with there. Man on Fire, a great performance from Denzel Washington in that one. And then a new Netflix limited series, Runaway, which is a Harlan Coben adaptation. Netflix has been doing a lot of his stuff recently about a woman who goes off to college, runs away. They think her family's trying to find her. She turns out kind of strung out. Her father thinks something's a little bit more at play. It looks intense. It looks thrilling. I'm excited to check out this limited series. On January 3rd, the following seasons 1 through 3 come out. So the whole series, the Fox series starring Kevin Bacon. I really enjoyed this at the time that it was airing. Enjoyed watching it live. It's very intense. Season 1 was the superior one. 2 and 3 kind of lost me a little bit, but I really enjoyed season 1. Very intense. Kept me hooked coming back week after week as it was coming out. January 8th, something I'm really excited about, is His and Hers. It's a new limited series with John Bernthal, Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson plays a reporter. John Bernthal plays a detective with the sheriff's office. Woman turns up dead. There's different things at play. They're trying to figure out what's going on. It looks very intense, and I love Tessa Thompson and John Bernthal. John Bernthal, it looks like this is the kind of role he is made for. Like this kind of law enforcement person, has a little bit of an edge, maybe a little bit of an anger issue. He typecast in that role a little bit. Yeah, but he does a great job at it. So I'm excited to check this out. On January 9th, a Netflix original movie, People We Meet on Vacation, which looks like a great rom-com. Trailer had me hooked, so I'm excited to check that one out. And then Stone Cold Fox with Kieran Shipka, Kristen Ritter, and Kiefer Sutherland. This looks like a throwback to kind of the 90s action movies, kind of crime drama. Kieran Shipka plays someone. She was dating Kristen Ritter, who was a drug dealer. Kiefer Sutherland was the dirty cop that protects her. Kieran Shipka takes the money, runs. Kristen Ritter and Kiefer Sutherland take her sister, whole lot, and unveil. So I'm excited about this. It looks fun. And then also the threesome. This has Zoe Deutsch and Ruby Cruz, and I forget the actor who's in it. But this is one I talked about when it was coming to theaters. It looked like a different take on kind of a rom-com in the spin of this, where they have a threesome. Both the women end up pregnant in it. And so it looks like a relationship drama comedy. I'm excited for it. I'll get to check it out on Netflix on the 9th. On January 12th, the Bob Marley biopic, One Love, comes to Netflix. On January 15th, Netflix original limited series, Agatha Christie's Seven Dials comes out. So Agatha Christie, widely known as one of the best mystery authors out there. Another work from her is being adapted on Netflix show in Seven Dials. Not one I know much about, but looks interesting. Also on the 15th is Bone Lake, which is one I didn't highlight below, but that was also a movie that I watched over the past week, not for free on Netflix. It was one that I had rented on Fandango at home, but this was highlighted as an erotic thriller. There are some elements of it. What it opens with is just a jarring scene, so fair warning, there is nudity in it, and a man gets an arrow shot through his testicles in the first minute of it that you see nice and up close. That's not the vibe of the entire movie. It almost makes it seem like it is, but it's not. I thought it was a fairly solid thriller, a little bit of horror elements in it, but a little erotic, I guess, from some of the plot points in it, but not crazy over the top like the opening scene makes it feel and seem like it's going to be. And then also the James Bond movie collection. Almost the entire James Bond series is dropping. Classics, the whole works, dropping to Netflix on the 15th. On the 16th, another thing that I'm really excited about this month is The Rip. This is a new Netflix original movie with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Looks like a fantastic action movie, lots of high energy. I'm excited for it. On January 20th, season 2 of WWE Unreal comes out, kind of giving you a peek behind the curtain a little bit more, what goes into those stories, those narratives. On January 22nd, Free Bert comes out. This stars Bert Kreischer in a comedic series loosely based on his wife. His life. He's got 2 daughters, trying to get him into a Beverly Hills school. They start going there. He doesn't fit the normal like parents line with that. He's the comedian, always taking his shirt off, making inappropriate jokes. And so having to adapt to that. Love or hate Bert Kreischer, he is successful at what he does. I really enjoyed Shane Gillis' series, Tires, on Netflix. I think that's kind of what they're going for with this. This looks like it has a little bit more production value going towards it and a little more of the scripted series vibe, right? Even though Tires, fully scripted series too, with a number of improv moments. But Freebird, I watched the trailer. It looks entertaining enough for me. Bert Kreischer, his stand-up isn't always my thing that I jive with, but this looks like it would be a fun little comedy series. On January 23rd, something that I don't know how I know how I feel about it. I don't love it. Is Skyscraper Live. And this is Alex Honnold, who is one of the best free soloers in the world, is going to be free soloing, climbing one of the world's largest skyscrapers live. I don't like that because I feel like the only reason they're doing it live is what if something goes wrong? Like, that's why people are going to tune in. And I mean, it's something that I've done before when they did the like Man on the Wire going between the 2 buildings, which they made that movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt adapted from it. It's something that's existed and that's happened and taken place before. It just makes me nervous. I will not be tuning into this. And then closing out the month on January 29th, Bridgerton Season 4 Volume 1 drops. Bridgerton is another one that we started. We watched the first season and then just kind of fell off of it and got behind it. But enjoyed the first season for what it was. And then things have changed in it and just so many other things to watch. Bridgerton's not high up on the list. But if that's your thing, Season 4 starts on January 29th. Let's jump on over to Apple TV Plus. Only a couple, or just Apple TV now. They dropped the Plus. Only a few things popping up over there. Some that I'm very excited about. On January 9th, Tehran Season 3 starts. This is a series that I've heard really good things about and has been sitting on my watch list for a while, and I haven't gotten around to it. Maybe once Season 3 is completed, I'll binge watch it, or when it's getting close to it. And on January 14th, Season 2 of Hijack, starring Idris Elba, comes out. First season, he was on a plane that was hijacked. This one looks like he's on a train that's hijacked. Looks intriguing, looks intense. I heard good things about the first season. Heard maybe they didn't stick the landing, but that's just from some things I've heard. I haven't checked it out myself. But the one that I'm most excited for is on January 28th, Shrinking Season 3 premieres. This quickly became one of my favorite shows when I got late to the party, started watching it when Season 2 was coming out. And I love Jason Segel. I love Harrison Ford in it. I love all the supporting cast in this. It is one of my favorite shows running, period, or favorite shows, period. It balances the comedy and the emotion so well. I'm so excited for Season 3. It starts on the 28th and will be weekly releases. Let's jump over to Prime Video. On January 1st, so starting tomorrow, you can check out 21 and 22 Jump Street. Some of the better comedies of the last 10, 15 years. I really enjoyed both of these. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill's comedic timing and chemistry together is off the charts. Alien Romulus, the 2024 movie. I really enjoyed this entry in the Alien franchise. Final Destination Bloodlines comes out as well, which I didn't love as much. I generally like the Final Destination series. I think it's interesting and seeing how everything comes together, I always find intriguing. This one just leaned more into family drama than what I felt like it needed, and so that took away some of it for me. A musical biopic that I don't love is Bohemian Rhapsody. It comes out on the 1st. I feel like I have to call it all musical related things that drop on these kind of recaps. Bohemian Rhapsody was fine. It won some awards. It drops on the 1st. Les Miserables comes out as well with Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway. I thought it was fine. Is it one of the best ones? No. Is Russell Crowe one of the best? No. I still think it is a decent adaptation of the stage show, and you get some Aaron Fiat in there, and Eddie Redmayne actually does a surprisingly good job, and so does Amanda Seyfried. You also get Mission Impossible 1 through 4, the first 4 movies in the franchise. And then one of my favorite musical biopic parodies is Pop Star Never Stopped, Never Stopping with Andy Samberg, done by the Lonely Island guys. You also have Ray, the Ray Charles biopic. And then Straight Outta Compton, another one of my favorite biopics of all time. I think everyone in this does an amazing job. It's the director's cut of it is almost 4 hours long, and I've watched it multiple times. It's a near perfect movie in my opinion. Ted 1 and 2, if you need some Seth MacFarlane talking bear action. The Blues Brothers, and then The Breakfast Club, classic John Hughes movie. On January 11th, season 2 of The Night Manager comes out. This stars Tom Hiddleston and Olivia Colman. Season 1 was a BBC series that released in 2016, so it has been 9 years since season 1 and is now getting revived over at Amazon Prime. This one, I haven't checked it out. The trailer looks like a fantastic British spy series. Tom Hiddleston is great. Olivia Colman's great. This will get added to my long growing list of things with backlog to check out. On January 21st, a mini-series with Sophie Turner called Steel comes out. Kind of an action heist show is what it seems to be, but there have not been any trailers and there's minimal information out for this, even though it drops in 3 weeks. I don't know why streamers do that. I get that you need to drop it soon, because if you show me something 6 months ahead, I'm going to forget about it by the time it comes out. So I get you want to keep it close to it, but give me time to highlight things on here. Same with on January 28th, a new movie with Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa called The Wrecking Crew is coming out. No trailer, not much synopsis for what's going on with this movie. That's a fun action combo. I'm excited for it, I think. So that'll be coming out January 28th, and that closes out Prime Video. Let's hop on over to HBO Max. Tomorrow on January 1st, you can check out Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I've talked about briefly on here. I thought it was a fun little thriller horror movie. I enjoyed it. Ex Machina, the A24 movie with Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, some fantastic performance, Alicia Vikander in there. I really enjoyed it. John Wick 1 through 3, Spaceballs, Taxi Driver, The Hitman's Bodyguard, and also The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. And then the entire Twilight series. If that's your thing, you can check that out on January 1st on HBO Max. On January 8th, The Pit Season 2, the Noah Wyle starring ER Doctor series that got critical acclaim for Season 1. Season 2 premieres already. They didn't give you too long in between seasons, which is fantastic. I like getting back to that. On January 11th, Industry Season 4 premieres. This is one that every time I see a trailer, I'm like, that looks really good. I need to start watching it, and I never have. So it's on the backlog. Can't tell you much about it. But what I'm most excited for on HBO this month is on January 18th, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms premieres. This is the newest entry in the Game of Thrones universe. It's based on one of George R. R. Martin's Dunk and Egg stories that he tells. And so I'm very excited for this show. I've not read the Dunk and Egg tales. I forget what the actual novel's called. And I don't know. We'll see what my life's doing at that point. If things settle down, I'd love to kind of do weekly recaps like I did House of the Dragon, but we'll see if that happens. So stay tuned. Could happen. I like doing it for the Game of Thrones ones because there's stuff that I'm excited about, even though I'm by no means an expert or crazy knowledgeable on the situation, right? I just like talking about them, giving my initial thoughts. I like doing that instant reaction of it. On January 22nd, parts 1 and 2 of Mel Brooks' The 99-Year-Old Man documentary come out. On January 23rd, The Smashing Machine. This stars Dwayne Johnson playing Mark Kerr, the actual UFC fighter, and it got some nominations. By all accounts, a great movie. Emily Blunt, Dwayne Johnson in it, but I didn't get a chance to check it out in theaters, so I'm excited to check it out on HBO Max. And then on January 30th, something else that I've heard good things about is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. This is, it's billed as a psychological thriller with Rose Byrne. I have heard it is just a very, intense movie that just makes you feel anxious for everything she is going through as a mom, world falling apart, things going crazy, stuff like that. Trailer looks intense, has Conan in it as well, so I'm excited to check that out. Let's hop over to Hulu. On January 1st, 28 weeks later, A Good Day to Die Hard, Behind Enemy Lines, Bad Moms, Big Daddy, Heat, Idiocracy, Kingsman: The Secret Service, another one of my favorite movies, Predator 1 and 2, along with Predators, of which I enjoy all three of those, and then also The Predator, which I do not enjoy that much. I did not think was very great, from Shane Black. And then Red and Red 2, Super Troopers, Taken 1 and 2, which I enjoyed the first one, second one, and the subsequent ones not so much, but the first Taken I thought was really well done. And then The Equalizer 1 and 2 with Denzel Washington. On January 9th, 1,000 Blows Season 2 premieres. This is the kind of the bare knuckle boxing series from the Peaky Blinders creator. It, by all accounts, is a great series. I have not had a chance to check it out yet, and Season 2 is premiering. So for them to greenlight a Season 2, that rarely happens these days, it feels like. So must have something going right. And that Peaky Blinders creator has earned up some goodwill, especially sharing it over with Hulu now instead of Netflix. On January 13th, the Season 3 premiere of Tell Me Lies, the Hulu original series that I have heard rave things about from some of my friends. That is on my list that I have not gotten to yet. On January 16th, Twinless comes out. This stars Dylan O'Brien and James Sweeney. It's a dark comedy. It also features Lauren Graham. About Dylan O'Brien and James Sweeney play two individuals who had twins who have died. So it's that feeling of being a twin and then not having your other half, essentially, and bonding. It looks like things get intense, and I'm excited to check this out. I heard pretty good things about it when it was in theaters. On January 21st, the new Ryan Murphy series premieres, The Beauty. This is an FX series that FX and Hulu, their partnership. It stars a lot of the Ryan Murphy classics, has Evan Peters in it. Also has Rebecca Hall, Anthony Ramos, Ashton Kutcher, and Bella Hadid. It looks like it's very kind of like Substance coded, where there's an injection. It can make you young, beautiful. Anthony Ramos plays like a one-eyed assassin. I don't know. Ryan Murphy is a very unique vibe. He's very hit or miss for me. The American Horror Story series. Things go on stage. I don't know what to think about this. Could be good, could be ridiculous. And then on January 27th, the 2023 or 24 movie Wicked Little Letters comes out. It's based on a true story from the 1920s. It has Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley in it. It looks very entertaining, some good British humor. I'm excited for it and to be able to check it out on streaming. And then let's hop over to Disney Plus. Just a couple things on there. On January 1st, the Indiana Jones series. So Dial of Destiny is already out on there, but the original trilogy as well as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull are dropping on Disney Plus. On January 22nd, the inferior Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage, comes out. This was one I wanted to it was None of the Venom movies were really that good, let's be honest. They had potential, Sony squandered them. Let There Be Carnage has some moments that are good. It should have been R-rated. They didn't lean into things how they should have. It was just ridiculous, cheesy. I didn't love it, but it is coming to Disney Plus if that's your thing. You want to check it out. But what I'm excited about this month is on January 27th, Wonder Man. The new Marvel series premieres as Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley in it. Ben Kingsley reprising his role as Trevor Slattery, which he had portrayed in Iron Man 3, as well as Shang-Chi. And so I am excited for this series. I don't know much about the Wonder Man character, but I really like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. And it looks like it's going for a different vibe and a different take than some of the other Marvel projects. So I'll appreciate that. It's an 8-episode miniseries, so we'll see how it goes. Let's hop over to Peacock. On January 1st, a few things. 17 again. Zac Efron comedy comes out, as well as Ad Astra if you need some sci-fi with Brad Pitt. Den of Thieves, one of my favorite action heist movies out there. Freaky, which was a fun kind of horror thriller body swap movie. Gamer, a fun Gerard Butler movie. In Time, Little Giants. You got some Stephen King classics in Misery, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Shining. You also have The Proposal, one of my favorite Ryan Reynolds movies. Us, which is a solid horror movie from Jordan Peele. And then The Wolf of Wall Street, if you need a Leo classic. On January 8th, season 4 of The Traitors premieres. This is a show that I need to watch. It's like right up my alley. You got some drama, you got some backstabbing, you got some reality stars in there, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. I think this is the season with Donna Kelsey. Maybe not. So check that out. And January 14th, the entire Hunger Games series premieres. And then on January 15th, Twisters, Glenn Powell doing his thing. Anthony Ramos also in this comes out. And then a new series that I'm excited for called Ponies, Persons of No Interest. It stars Emilia Clarke, Haley Lou Richardson. They both had husbands who were killed. They were spies. They were killed. And so they want to go undercover so they can try to uncover more about their deaths. So they make a deal because they won't be suspected. And it looks like a fun action series. I'm an Emilia Clarke fan since her days in Game of Thrones, and I liked Haley Lou Richardson and everything I've seen her in as well. So this looks like fun. Check out the trailer. I think you'll be hooked too. The final streaming one I'll highlight is Paramount Plus, so we'll hop over there. On January 1st, you got 50 First Dates, Baby Driver, the Kevin James classic Clerks, Eagle Eye, Everybody Wants Some, which was one of the first like Glenn Powell ones I feel like really took off. It was a Richard Linklater film about a 1980s college baseball team kind of partying through the last weekend of summer. Fun, underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but it's a good time. It's a vibes movie. It's not like the best movie ever, but it's got good vibes. The original Footloose movie, the entire Jackass series, Rudy, Scream 1 through 3, Southpaw, Sweeney Todd, The Demon of Barbara Fleet Street. So you get some Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp action. I just based on Johnny Depp's name for a minute and just like froze. And then Zodiac, which is one of my favorite true crime movies out there. On January 8th, a new series that's based on Holly Overton's novel Baby Doll, Girl Taken, comes out. I do like that they changed it from Baby Doll to Girl Taken. Girl Taken sounds a little more straightforward, but Alfie Allen plays a teacher who abducts a twin girl, one of the twins, and so it looks very intense. It's going to be a 6-episode series. All 6 episodes drop on the 8th. And then a new Showtime series, which their partnership with Paramount Plus, it drops on there as well, premieres January 9th, and that's Cold Water, starring Andrew Lincoln. This also looks like a very intense thriller series that I'm excited about. I'm not the biggest Star Trek guy, but I figured I should call it out because it is highlighted as one of the biggest releases, is that on January 15th, Star Trek Starfleet Academy has its series premiere on Paramount Plus. On January 20th, something that we don't have too much information on, but Handsome Devil, the Charming Killer, a docu-series on Wade Wilson, who was dubbed the Deadpool Killer because of his name similarity with the Marvel Comics character, that drops on January 20th. And then on January 28th, season 3 of School Spirits with Peyton List premieres. And Peyton List, if I'm not mistaken, I just saw will be making her Broadway. She's been on Broadway before, but she will be debuting in Heathers as Heather Chandler. So fun little note there, tying it all together Broadway style. Finally, let's talk about what's coming to theaters this month. A mix of things coming. On January 9th, we have the Gerard Butler and Marina Baccarin starring Greenland 2 Migration, the sequel to the kind of doomsday end of the world movie Greenland, kind of the Roland Emmerich style movies like Day After Tomorrow and Moonfall and things like that. Greenland 2 Migration sequels coming out on the 9th. Primate, which is his family, has a pet chimpanzee. Looks like gets rabies, goes crazy, turns into a horror movie. Looks intriguing. We're getting lots of horror monkey movies lately. And then Dead Man's Wire has its limited release on the 9th. This is based on a true story. It comes from Gus Van Sant. It has Bill Skarsgård, Coleman Domingo, Al Pacino in it. It's based on a true story of a man feeling wrong, takes a kind of bank executive hostage with a shotgun. And then stories going out across the radio, and it looks intense. I'm a big Bill Skarsgård fan. I'm not sure how I feel about his kind of southern accent in this. I'm a big Coleman Domingo fan as well. Lots of Broadway ties there too. So that does for what's coming on the 9th. On January 16th, we have 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the sequel to last year's 28 Years Later, which was a sequel to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, which I've not been able to get into yet. But this movie looks intense, and so I'm excited for that. Ralph Fiennes is fantastic. So, and then on limited release, which I think this movie will not be very good, but the trailer intrigued me, is Night Patrol. It stars Justin Long as a cop who wants to get on the Night Patrol. Night Patrol does some shady things. One of the head people in Night Patrol is played by CM Punk, a good old wrestler. His government name, Phil Brooks, is what he's billed as in this. But the twist, the dirty cops at night are actually vampires. So this movie looks a little ridiculous, but it also looks like it could be a lot of fun based on the trailer. So it won't be a theater watch for me, but I will watch it at some point. Okay, little bonus insert. As I'm editing, I realized I forgot to mention the movie that I am maybe the most excited for that is coming to theaters on January 16th, and that is Killer Whale. Now, this movie looks like a little bit of a copy and paste from The Shallows, the fantastic Blake Lively starring shark attack movie. I love a good vengeful shark attack movie. But this, the twist, is it is a killer whale, which they say more deadly than most sharks because they fight and eat sharks. But usually they don't attack humans. And this, like the trailer opens with they like break into a SeaWorld like place and see a killer whale eat the cleaning person. And then all of a sudden they're just out in the middle of the ocean. And they come in this reef, and there's the killer whales there because it thinks it's still in captivity, and so it starts like attacking the people. It looks intense. I love a good like creature feature, especially like shark. Like I'm scared of sharks, but I like shark attack movies. This one, new with the killer whale and just like some of the visuals with just like the curved fin over that you're used to. Oh, Free Willy. No, this killer whale is going to eat you. This movie looks ridiculous. It looks kind of over the top, campy, but it looks like it's got that kind of scary shark attack vibe and element, and it's something different with the killer whale. So I'm intrigued about this movie. It will probably not be a theater watch for me, but it definitely will be I need to watch this as soon as it's available on digital watch. So that's it. I would be remiss if I let go through the edit and realize, because I was waiting on my graphic, I'm like, I'm going to throw it in here. Then I'm like, wait, why did I not say that? When was it? Why did I leave that out? But now, here you go. So now you can make sure to be watching for Killer Whale. Okay, now back to what's coming on the 23rd. On January 23rd, we have a very time-sensitive movie. It is Mercy. Time-sensitive, that's not what I was looking for. Relevant for the times. Chris Pratt plays a detective who put in this Mercy program. And what it is there is an AI judge. So it's not supposed to have bias or be influenced from outside things. He put this Mercy program into place, but now he is face to face with it. He has 90 minutes to prove that he is not responsible, that he didn't murder his wife. So he's strapped in, has all of the resources, cameras, files, things like that at his disposal. He has 90 minutes to prove he is not the killer or he will be executed. Also, In Cold Light comes out. This is another kind of like crime thriller, and it stars Maika Monroe, who's been making a big run and push at things. I first was introduced to her in Long Legs, and she gives a great performance in that. And this looks like another kind of showing for her. Helen Hunt's in it as well. It'll be a smaller release. This is a smaller film, but it looks interesting, and I'm excited to check it out sometime. Closing out the month on the 30th, Send Help is a new Sam Raimi movie. It stars Dylan O'Brien, Rachel McAdams. Dylan O'Brien is the kind of POS boss. Rachel McAdams is the person who's been like kind of slaving away working for him and is kind of the run of the joke at the office. But there was a plane crash and those two are stranded on a desert island together, and it looks like it turns into horror zone and kind of intense, and Rachel McAdams is feral and looks like she is given a hell of a performance in this. So really excited to check that out. And then Shelter comes out. This has Jason Statham and Bill Nye in it. Jason Statham, assassin, on the run. Well, not on the run. He's been in hiding, posted up, retirement. People start coming after him, hunting him down. And he has a young girl who got caught in the crosshairs, and he's kind of sheltering her with him and trying to get her to safety as well. So looks like a typical Jason Statham movie, which goes to say plot will probably have a lot of holes in it, not be the perfect thing, but you're going to have some badass action scenes. And then another movie that I was intrigued by the trailer, sci-fi kind of post-apocalyptic vibes, is World Breaker. It has Luke Evans and Mila Jovovich in it. I don't know what to think about it. It looks like they're kind of trying to go for world building aliens. I don't know how I feel, but the trailer intrigued me. So it's a lower budget one, a smaller studio, but I'm intrigued. Luke Evans is great, and Mila Jovovich kind of thrives in these kind of movies. Not great by any means, but she works well in these kind of movies. So I don't know. So that kind of does it. That's what's coming to theaters. That's a highlight of what you can check out this month. Hopefully you'll find some gems in there that you're intrigued by as well. I know I don't cover everything. There's some fantastic sites and lists out there. Check those out. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much this week. We're closing out the month with something that's more practical and gives you something to build off of. So I don't know what January is going to look like for the pod yet. Planning to be back here with another episode next week. I do not know what that will look like yet. It'll be a surprise for you and me. But thank you all for sticking with us. It's been a hell of a year. I went over it last week's episode, some of the pod numbers and growth and just how much you all mean to me. So appreciate that. Check that out if you want to. Subscribe, leave a comment, go to socials, follow us on Instagram. That's where I will tend to do some kind of updates in the stories as well. Go to Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you listen. Go throw a follow on there, even if you're watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, and subscribed. But go throw a follow on those platforms too. Sharing things you enjoy, that's one of the best way to support artists, right? Share to your story, tell your friends about it. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Hope you have a happy new year. And here's hoping 2026 is better for everyone, right? Who can complain about things being better than the year before? Not me. Here's to it. Thank you all. Love y'all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.